Welcome one, welcome all. Here we are. Appreciate you guys joining me for this one. So, what's the reason for the soft background music and the post-recording dialogue? Well, the reason is that these 3 episodes were recorded across a dreadful recording session. There's no other way to put it. It was just horrific. And the idea was that I wanted to record some of the dialogue again. I wasn't happy with how it went. I wasn't happy with how it was looking. I really wasn't happy with any of the the frustration that was coming across. Like, I know that's part and parcel of a From Software game. But I thought to myself, there's a lot that I don't want people to hear in that playthrough. So what I ended up doing was finishing the recording. With hindsight, what I should have done was I should have finished the recording with, like, I should have just stopped talking. I should have muted my microphone on my headset and finished the chat. But instead, what I ended up doing was continuing to express my frustrations and my negativity. So what you're going to get instead is some voiceover reaction. So at this point in the game, we've not got a lot happening. The boss characters are coming up, but we're making our way through this mob. This was the second time of trying to get through this. The first time I died spectacularly trying to get through all of this, and I wasn't very complimentary about either the design or about the placement of the mobs, the alarms, etc. So I have decided to bash my head against this again and again and again. I remember thinking, I'm going to get through this boss. I'm going to do this. I could have went away and did anything else. Elden Ring is not a linear game where you have to make a direct path from A to B. So I could quite easily have left Castle Sol and went to do something else. Anything else. I could have went and taken on another boss in another area. I could have went on and taken on another part of the story. Instead, what I've done is allowed my frustration and my pride to get the better of me, and continually went at this boss until I beat it. So it's a little disappointing. Here you can see my second attempt at Commander Nile, taking out the knights. Both knights, because I've realised that they do not respawn. Nile won't summon any more knights during the boss attempt. All that happens is he gets more aggressive. I'm about to lose my summon here. There it goes. Right idea. Attacking him while he's weak. However, I'm continually rolling backwards into the hitbox for Niall's lunge attack. I'm not rolling to the sides to get out the way of the hitbox. I'm rolling backwards and taking hits that I don't need to. That was part of the frustration. Like that, for example. Had I rolled left or right there, I wouldn't have taken that damage. And now my back's against the wall. It's kind of frustrating watching a lot of this because I'm taking damage that I don't need to. It's simply because in the frustration that I was feeling playing this, I've not given any thought to tactics. I've went brute force. I am going to beat this boss if I have to beat my head up against him again and again and again and again. And that's quite sad. I think in total what we're going to see in this is 4, maybe 5 attempts at the same boss, and that's not great content either. Unfortunately, because I don't have my PlayStation 5 at my workstation, or didn't at this point, there was no way to record a lot of footage and then condense that into the kind of episodes that I was recording for you guys. So these are straight recorded 50-minute episodes of Let's Play footage of raw reaction, and in the main I have allowed you guys to see the raw reaction, even although in some instances I'm kind of embarrassed when I watch it back, and you can hear how frustrated I'm getting at game mechanics that are designed to challenge you. It happens again later in the series, and you'll see what I mean when you come to those episodes. But it's a little sad. So I'm looking at my tactics here now. I'm starting to think, is there a way that I can get numbers on the field? I've decided to go for the Great Shield Soldier Ashes. It's actually not a bad idea now that I think about it. It really isn't, because getting numbers out to tank his numbers could be a viable strategy. The only thing wrong with that was here, I was too close to the boss gate when I summoned, and so instead of my Great Shield soldiers providing me with a defensive line against Niall and his summons, they've ran to the boss fog to confront the knights that are there, and then haven't bothered about these guys, and then I'm rushing in blindly, ignoring the fact that Niall has already done a lot of damage to me. So long before Niall got that hit on me that forced me to back off, I should have stepped back from that situation, made sure that my health was topped up, and then made my play. So that's a little frustrated. What I will point out, and you will see it slightly later in this video, is that there are more options available to me. There's item crafting. I can craft lightning proof dried liver by this point, and I can craft the anti-frost boluses, the pale blue ones that let you break or let you staunch frost damage. I've not bothered to put either of them on. I'm checking to make sure that there's no one at that gate. There is, so I'm pushing forward a bit to bring in my summons to make sure that they are going to go straight to these guys. Summoned them too late though. The dual sword knight is aggressive. Once he's locked onto you, he's locked onto you. He's not going anywhere. Now I'm looking for an angle to get at the other knight. Thought I could maybe kite him over to me if I hit him with the kukuri knives, but it's not happening. He's not interested. If I want that kill, I'm going to have to go and look for it. So I draw him, take him out. Now I'm down to 3 Great Shield Knights. Making sure that I'm on my health flask, that my health's topped up. Okay, we've got the Sword of Morn's buff. The Grafted Blade Greatsword. Its buff does something similar to the Godric's Great Rune in that it boosts certain stats to increase your damage. There we go. Now we've hit him. Really need to hit him again though. Okay, so we've done some decent damage there. Again, we're not getting out of range in the right manner, and we've closed with him too quick here. We took some AoE damage. We're going to take some AoE damage again. There's Frostbite up now. I'm vulnerable. Rolling backwards away from his attacks, trying to get out of range, not realising that with the reach of those hitboxes, I'm still going to be within them. Rolling left or right would have been far better. I want to push in, but I'm not. I'm too hesitant. Instead, I've sprinted away from him and tried to bait that attack because I know I can punish that, but I'm not punishing it. Instead, I'm standing back trying to throw knives, thinking I can maybe inflict bleed on him. There's no way with the kukuri I can inflict the bleed on him because I have nothing else to back that up. You can't put the hemorrhage grease on the grafted greatsword, so that was a waste of time and a waste of resources. As you can see, I'm now down to 4 Crimson Tear flasks. I'm not going to hurt him with anything other than just straight up getting in his face and hitting him. This wasn't an elegant build. It didn't have a backup damage source. I think I had respect because I had experienced a lot of frustration with the previous build I was using, where I was trying to use Faith in Arcane. But the way I had that build set up, I hadn't done it very well, and it relied on me being able to buff my character with rune arcs to activate Godric's Great Rune. And if I didn't do that, then the shield and sword that I was using at the time were absolutely useless. I couldn't use them. So the jellyfish shield wouldn't buff and wasn't stable. And the sword that I was using did basic damage, even although I had enough arcane to make it do a lot of bleed damage, it wouldn't do it. So I'd respect into a strength build, and I had used 2 swords for a while, but I ended up fat rolling, and because I didn't have armour, tanky enough armour to poise and, you know, dual greatsword through a lot of the damage that I was taking, I switched out to this character with a single greatsword and the heaviest armour I could wear and still medium roll. But he's pure strength, and if the enemy has a high physical resistance, he doesn't have anything else to support that. There's no backup faith or intelligence or arcane to give him an alternative. I can't even do the beast incantations. So he's a little bit of a one-trick pony. Here I'm thinking if I can get Niall down low enough for some reason, I can get rid of his summons. I remember seeing someone on YouTube doing this boss fight and saying that once Niall's health's low enough, the summons just die and it's just you versus him. It's like the second phase of the boss fight where he gets more aggressive. I've nothing to back that up though. I'm looking again through all of my Ash summons, Spirit Ash summons. See, the sad thing is that I hadn't upgraded those summons very well. In my Let's Play character, it wasn't until the very end of the game that I knew what I was doing when it came to summons and how to reinforce them. So there's a lot of +4s and +5s, but no one that can really come in and help me out here. So we're going to go in and try again. I think this is attempt number 5 now, but I'm thinking now, I've got the lightning proof dried liver, I've got aromatic incense buffs to boost the summons power. I've went with the Night Maiden and Sword Stress. And the plan was to buff them until I realised that I needed FP to buff them. Did eventually manage to get the buff off. Now we've drawn the more aggressive of the two knights. Take him out. I'm about to lose one of the two summons, but luckily it was to the other knight, so that's given me a chance to finish him off. Now, right move but poor execution coming up. I decided to try and buff the Swordstress. She was left. I'd lost the Night Maiden already, but I should have got that off quicker. She might have been able to do more damage to him. But on the positive side, it didn't do... Oh, got lucky there. There's the Thawfrost boluses coming in, so we've got rid of Frostbite, taking advantage of Niall's breather to rebuff, or rather re-strengthen myself against his damage types. I mean, we're 19 minutes into this episode, and those first 19 minutes have all been this boss. It's not very effective or efficient gameplay. Top off the health, step in and go again. His lightning damage has hurt me there. I've rolled into the hitbox for his thrust attack again. Taking the lightning proof dried liver again just to make sure that I keep that buff up. Do not want to take more lightning damage from him. Put on the grafted blades. Weapon art again. I didn't seem to be getting a lot of benefit out of the lightning proof dried liver. I mean, I'm looking at the health that's going when he's hitting me with that lightning kick. I'm still taking a lot of damage. And whack, there we go. Great sense of relief there when I managed to do that. Because otherwise I would have went a little bit insane, I think. But we've done alright there. We've given Commander Niall a few whacks and eventually managed to inelegantly blast our way past him. Kind of reminds me of those old boxing matches where the two guys just abandon all aesthetics, all technical ability, and just go for sheer power, just unloading cannonballs on each other until one guy just can't take it anymore. That's effectively what that last fight was. There was no strategy. I didn't avoid any of his big hits. He didn't avoid any of mine. We just smashed each other into the ground until one of us was left. Got what I wanted though, got the other half of the Erdtree medal. Wanted to make sure I saw as many areas in this playthrough as possible. And so far that was all I had seen of the mountaintop of the giants, was just that narrow section. I'm aware that there's more to it, but I want to go to the secret area. This is just a run through of an area, so there's not a lot to see here. We'll just let the epic soundtrack play in the background. Quick credit to the music as well. This is the Elden Ring soundtrack. I think it's a remaster or rework of a lot of the OST, the official soundtrack. I will put full credit and a link to where I found this in the description for copyright purposes as well. You know, I make no claim to this music. This is the Elden Ring soundtrack, so it felt right to go along with this. Just so there wasn't silence in my voice, because the way that I record on the PlayStation, there's no way to separate the tracks, because I'm not recording via Elgato or anything like that, because my workstation's in one area and my PlayStation is set up to a 50-inch 4K TV, so I'm loath to disconnect that and bring it over to the workstation, because 4K is how I want to see a lot of my games. And many of the episodes that I've been able to upload so far have come from directly recording onto the PlayStation's hard drive, capturing 4K HDR and uploading that. Now, unfortunately, not every episode has processed like that at YouTube's end, which is a little sad. So not every episode is 4K. You can see the ones that are. But if I had the opportunity to set it up permanently here, I would take the time to set up individual audio tracks so that my voice and the game's soundtrack were recorded on different tracks, and that way I could have just taken my audio out and re-recorded a post, and you would still have heard the battles going on in the background. But sadly, because it's all recorded as one audio track, there's no way to take my voice out and still have the game's sound effects. So instead you'll just have to make do with the beautiful reworkings of the Elden Ring soundtrack by various artists. So I've got my wish. I've managed to make my way to the secret route to the Erdtree. There we go. Hidden path. At this point I'm feeling pretty confident though. I know, watching it back, that the Commander Nile fight was a disaster. But I thought in terms of my level, you know, I'm over the 150 traditional From Software meta. I want to say Souls meta. I think we all say that From Software's games come under the broad umbrella of the Soulsborne, Bloodborne and the Souls series. Don't know where Sekiro fits in that because it's neither Bloodborne nor Dark Souls. But Elden Ring's the same, you know, I constantly refer to this as one of the Souls games or as part of the Souls series. The Souls meta of level 150 soul level, which is so that everyone plays PvP at a level where their stats are roughly equal and it comes down to skill. I'm not a PvP player. I get destroyed and I fully admit that. I don't care for it because that would just frustrate me even more, playing PvP and then getting beat by everyone that I played against. So I don't mind over leveling and leveling out of that meta with every character. And at this point I think I'm about a level 164. But the stat spread isn't doing me any favours. There are about 79 points in strength admittedly, but the spread across the rest of my attributes, particularly in this game FP, because even although I'm a strength character, having more FP to be able to use some more weapon arts, or Ashes of War rather, and to be able to summon more powerful spirit ashes as well. Eventually it drives me to respec again later in the series so that I have access to an FP pool that will let me summon the Black Knife Teach. But yeah, it's just frustrating to watch me not have enough options. Got caught by surprise there. Now we're in a not good position. The land octopus actually does me a favour and blocks off a whole staircase. As a result, I can take time to reset and think about what I want to do. She's got a ranged attack though, so I don't want to stay away for too long. I know I can't reach her head to do the criticals here though, so I'm just going to have to settle for charged R2s, and I've got Beast Claw coming through her. That's one attribute of the Beast Claw incantation, is that it tears through the landscape and cuts through everything in its path. So it's coming via her and hitting me. She's up on the banister now and one of them was able to come round her. I've got lucky and hit it because I was doing a charged attack anyway, and the large hitbox that I get from the charged attack has struck her. So yeah, quite happy with that. Finally. I think she had landed on one of them as well. So there was two of those little vulgar militiamen. But I think because she did her jump attack again, one of them made it round, but the other one got caught in the jump attack and died. again, it's really inelegant, but so satisfying when you hit something with that sword and send it flying through the air like that. So by now we're half an hour in, content's starting to pick up again. We've got a new area. Pushing onward and upward into the consecrated snowfield, which has a really cool mechanic. I remember seeing this and thinking, that's actually not bad. There's lights that light the path for you because the blizzard makes it impossible to see where you're walking. So it's really cool that you've got this option to follow a lit path that's been put in, but you can't see the danger that's in front of you. I love that sword. I have to say I'm really enjoying this soundtrack as well. I've not made any effort to match up the soundtrack in terms of matching the intensity of what's going on, picking out the specific tracks that go with that. All I've done is just put the soundtrack on to play to give you something in the background when there's long periods of nothing, of just me walking, for example. I quickly figured out that if I pop the map open, I can check to see if I'm following the main road to the map fragment. That's what I'm aiming for, the obelisk that has the map fragment on it. Stumbled upon a nomadic warrior's cookbook there, and I'm sure at this point I'd heard a howl, and I knew there was something in the distance now, and there it is. So this enemy type is albinoric women so they're on mounts. So I don't know if it's an attribute of the riders themselves, or if this is what happens to all albinorics. You'd have to check VatiVidia's lore videos for this, but I'm pretty sure that there's something to do with the albinorics' blood curse that means that they lose the use of their legs. Maybe it's some kind of anemia, but none of them seem to be able to walk. So the albinoric men that I've seen all crawl on their hands. They attack you in the albinoric village in Liurnia of the Lakes. The albinoric women are wolf riders. They ride dire wolves. But if you come across them without the dire wolves, they're not mobile. Smithing Stone level 8, which was pretty good at this point. I think I was needing stones like that to push some of my favourite weapons towards their final upgrade path. I actually liked the simple system in this game as well of upgrading. In previous Souls games, the upgrading paths could be a little complicated because if you wanted a fire weapon, for example, you had to make sure you were finding red smithing shards, red titanite shards, and red titanite shards for fire, blue titanite shards for magic, green titanite shards for... I want to say green titanite shards for legendary weapons, but I'm probably wrong. and then standard titanite shards for your main non buffed weapon. You know, it didn't have fire or magic or anything like that. Or was it green titanite shards for cursed weapons and stuff like that? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've played any of the Soul series because once I'd completed Dark Souls 1 and 3, I didn't really go back to them. I bought the trilogy for the PS4, but I haven't been back and played them. Here we take out our first Albinoric rider. The wolf was still alive. I'm pretty sure it will attack you again, so I took the chance to scalp it into the distance. You've taken a lot of damage. They are really tough archers. They can loose arrows fast. Very formidable. Very impressive. I remember thinking jokingly to myself that if From Software want to make a little extra money, they could follow the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion's route and get horse armor DLC or horse skins and let you reskin Torrent as a dire wolf, or put the Knights Cavalry funeral shroud and stuff like that on him, just to... Sure, Souls fans would be absolutely delighted with that violation. Just checking to make sure I'm on the path as well. One of the downsides to the Blizzard that's deliberately there, obviously you're meant to follow the lit path. I think you're meant to stay between the markers as well. But the lit path does guide you away from certain obstacles in the landscape, one of which is sheer drops. And I have played another character where I've tried to run through this area quickly and went straight off the edge of a cliff to my death. Thought maybe that was one of those glowing notes that you sometimes see that they're put there to lead you towards merchants or other characters. But we finally made it to our obelisk. I've got a map marker there. The reason for my hesitation to approach it was I heard click-clacking. Excuse me, I shouldn't have drank that fizzy juice. It's the... Yeah, it's the... I heard click-clacking in the background and realised that I was going to get attacked by something. I thought it was just that wolf. And it turns out it wasn't that wolf. It was something completely different. Just checking for some map highlights here. I forgot you're only allowed 5 numbered points. I numbered more than 5. Wondered why all my markers were disappearing. Decided to take them all off. So I had a plan in mind when I was going to explore this area. I also wanted to find a grace further in. And the irony of that is I've ran past one. There is a grace in the consecrated snowfield interior that's just past me. And there I see what really was making the sounds. I've ran into albinoric riders and more wolves. So there was a bigger enemy there. Oh well. Run away as fast as you can. We found more of the little shellless turtle guys. The greatsword that I'm using is a fire greatsword as well, because for some reason I assumed that a fire greatsword would do more damage to the guys in this area. This guy had poise for days. As you can see, only staggered when I inflicted fire on him the first time. It also has the magma, eruption, ash of war. So I don't know why I'm trying to trade with him. He's already proven 3 times that he can take anything I dish out. I should have been smarter. Got some flasks back for that. I think I do get some back for eventually beating what was the original group of these guys. Yeah, I did. I got a single flask back there. Took his vomit to the face. Killed him. We've got one there that likes to throw his shiny discus. This cool frisbee blade. Went for a power attack there, got it. Went for the critical in case the other one decided to throw one of them. I wanted the iframes, got them too. In the end though, these guys just weren't worth the... what's the word? Just weren't worth the resources that I'd spent killing them. Got 3 flasks back there. Fair enough. I've earned back some of those resources, but I just keep thinking that it was a waste of time. Minimal minimal runes return, and no gear or other items dropped. So a tad disappointing. So that turned out to not be any architecture. It was the landscape's texture that I was seeing on the map fragment there. I thought it was a building or a ruin or something, and it wasn't. Sword did me good here though. Jump attack, jumping R2? Yeah, jumping R2. I was about to say jumping L2 there, it's not a jumping L2, it's a jumping R2. I think I realised that I was getting so many flasks back for killing these guys as well, that eventually I was jumping back into combat with them. I'm on 8 just now. That's 9. That's pretty good. I think at this point 10's the maximum number of crimson tears I've got. So it's pretty good to be able to get almost back to full flasks. And I've got the healing. I think I've got the effect on that I get Health back for kills. No, it's not. You know what it is? It's the increased... It's the winged insignia. I'm getting increased damage for landing multiple attacks. So doing it right here, buffing me and the wizard Stan. I don't know why I call him Stan, it's just what I came up with for him. I just wanted a really ordinary name for a guy that could burn holes through things with the comet spell. Steve just didn't seem right. I've got a putrid avatar here. I want the tears. Mistiming my rolls. Not rolling to the side. Not learned my lesson yet from the Commander Nile fight. That's better. Timed better. But the ones that are coming straight down, I need to learn to roll to the side. Steve's going to do the patented... Now I'm calling the Erdtree avatar Steve. Doing the patented Dark Souls butt slam attack that all giant bosses have to learn on day one. Stan's doing a good job of just tanking hits to that stone crown of his. Stan got that crown from Burger King. The whole headset, it was in one of his kids' meals. Oh yes, and between me and Stan we've stunned this guy, and now I'm going to do a critical to finish him off. Give me those tears. There we go, thorny cracked and ruptured. Don't know what the point in the ruptured is. Is the rupture just a suicide? Is that like your Hail Mary? I've never used it because it describes it as exploding in the flask. So I'm assuming it does damage to me and will potentially kill me. And so I don't see the point in killing myself and killing a boss. Still looking for that grace. Thinking to myself, oh my god, I need to find it quick. I thought if it was going to be anywhere, it would be at this town. Quite logical thought. And proven right. Just noticed that despite the fact that I've picked the Elden Ring soundtrack, my playlist has decided to add in other soundtracks. I mean, fair enough. It was only ever meant to be background music, so just interesting because I know for a fact that this is not part of the Dark Souls. I know what it is, but I'm not going to say. Deciding to mark up some areas. There's only about a minute of this episode left, so I don't know if I was doing this in preparation for episode 2. Who knows? One thing that we have to do though is say an outro. Got 48 seconds to say that. So thank you for joining me for this one, guys. There will be 2 episodes after this where I'll have to re-record the audio for the same reason, particularly by the 3rd episode that I'd recorded in this session. The frustration was evident. The gameplay felt the bits, and so did the voiceover. and it was language that you're not really allowed to use on YouTube. Language that I would only use if I was privately frustrated on my own in the house and I could swear as much as I wanted. So I'm getting rid of that with these voiceovers. So thanks for joining me. Take care, and I will see you for another episode. Stay safe, guys. See you again real soon. Bye for now.